I've been in the creative industry all my life, to be honest. My family were manufacturers. So we did textiles in Scotland, Ireland, in the UK back in the day. But I ended up engineering, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight of why we did this, because there has to be a reason. And it certainly wasn't about the money. The background I had was quite unusual because I became an engineer. I didn't enjoy engineering, so I retrained and ended up doing textile design, but then ended up working in fashion, working for Banana, Maharishi, all sorts of different brands, Urban Outfitters, Anthropology. Also, I worked for a company called WGSN, which I think you subscribe to WGSN. Yeah, so I was involved in that in its very early days. There was only 20 of us, and now there's probably about 800, I think. And you know, that's what opened my mind to digital. So this was back in 1999 when you might not even been born, I don't know. So it's a bit frightening, isn't it? When you're 46, it's all downhill. But anyway, the experience at WGSN was fascinating because, you know, I'd be going to see people like Ralph Lauren. I'd be seeing people at Urban in Philadelphia, Levi in San Francisco. So it was truly global. And we created a section within the site which was all for the benefit of students. It was an EDU section of WGSN. And then, unfortunately, when the Japanese investment company got involved, they had to trim certain areas, and they trimmed that. They stopped it, which was a huge shame because from my perspective and various other people's perspective within WGSN, that's very unprofessional. I wouldn't want to sit next to you in the cinema. Anyway, but going back to this circumstance with WGSN, they dropped it, and you know, mad because, you know, when you're the likes of Academy of Art and Parsons and Royal College and Hong Kong Design Institute, etc., were subscribed. The students think, oh wow, this is really quite a handy service to know what's going on in the market, see what's going on in Tokyo, etc., etc. Anyway, I left. I left because, for various reasons, I was sick of selling fresh air. That's probably the best way of describing it. Ended up in factories, back in what I originally was about. Worked with the textile trade, worked all over the place, Istanbul, God, you name it, Seoul, Guangzhou, it just went on. And then, because my wife was on the verge of leaving me, because I wasn't seeing much of her, it's not very healthy, I ended up in recruitment by default and headed up the world's largest creative recruitment firm, a company called Aquent. We've got 98 offices, I think, globally. And I was actually quite well off. I was making quite good money, to be honest. You know, looking after the international, working with Nike, everybody, you know. But I bumped into a very dear friend of mine during my time at this company called Aquent, whose HQ is in Boston. And she'd come up with this concept, Arts Thread, and it was just a magazine. And that magazine, I honestly thought was awe-inspiring. Why? Because to produce a magazine that was only for new creatives, new designers, tomorrow's talent, was, yeah, pretty good. And not just fashion, you know, textiles, visual communication, ceramics, you know, anything creative, yeah? But not, this is a magazine that was embracing, I call it the rough diamonds, not the polished. The polished are the people who establish 5, 10, 20 years expertise. You know, the upcoming talent, emerging talent, okay? And I said to her, look, Katie, this magazine you've got is lovely, but why don't you make it a platform, a digital platform? Because the thing with a magazine, and there's no knocking magazines, because I love magazines, it's restricted because you can only have so many pages. With this, and you know, lo and behold, we created the platform, spent a hell of a lot of money on it. I'm still paying it. You know, 7 years ago, we launched the website. And the website is changed radically from its early stage. It literally was a portfolio site. That's what it was. But for emerging talent. So not like Behance, not like Coraflop. You know, the difference between us and them is anyone their grandmother, their dog, anyone can be on it, right? This is purely revolved around you, right? You know, because to be quite honest, the industry, and this is one of the reasons why I decided to call it a day, earning good money in a big American recruitment firm. Yeah, I mean, every company I talk to, they need new talent. They need new ideas. So you're really important, but actually you're quite difficult to find. Now that might throw you a bit, but the reason why is because there's so many of you, and it's like, put yourself in the shoes of the industry. It's a bit like looking for a needle in a haystack, right? So by creating a platform which enables you to post yourself in 3 different areas, because we made a decision that you could be selected in 3 areas of the site. So you could be, I don't know, let's say a textile print designer moving into women's wear who can also do accessories, okay? For example, you can be found in those areas. So I use the example of lastminute.com as a good one, because it's like booking a holiday, okay? I'm looking for a fully fashioned knitwear designer in Dundee, yeah? Or where? Or I could be looking for a furniture designer in Stockholm, yeah? Or a print graphic designer in Beijing, okay? So and the nice thing is these examples that I used to give, it was like a dream. But the funny thing is now, we've got them. I mean, bloody hell, we're all over the place. We've got Guatemala and Reykjavik, we're everywhere, right? And why? Because it was actually quite a good idea. And I can't claim it all them because it was my partner, the lady I was talking about before, Katie, who came up with the concept, the magazine itself. So all I did was really just, put my hand in my pocket and invest and then push it. And I can't help but be passionate about it because it's not me, it's you, right? So when you are opening people's eyes to amazing talent, and you talk to people like Nike and Levi, I was with again yesterday, and Lego, companies that I would love to work for, by the way, but that's by the by. They love it. And we also made a decision after doing the portfolio bit, thought, wait a minute, what's the point of just doing a portfolio bit? Why don't we have a section for the design school? Because if the design school is in there, that's quite handy for like a kid, 14, 15, who doesn't actually know what they're going to do with their lives. They think, oh, I can draw, but I don't really know what I want to do. Is it fashion? Is it textiles? Is it glass? Who can say, right? So they can now, with the school section, which we brought into the site 4 years ago, there's 450 design schools. It's more than that, actually, but 450 was the last count. So that's good. And it means that when you upload, you have the logo of the school that you study, Academy of Art, great, big name, top 10 on the planet, by the way, just let you know. Yeah, it's not bad. Nice little picture of yourself, and the rest is down to you. You put your portfolio up there, you have your projects on top of projects on top of projects, you can have moving image. And why we did that is because Pixar got in touch. They wanted to find animators. I mean, it's mad, right? So we've had all these really huge things that we never envisaged, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's like a domino effect. You see that as competitions. It's competitions. So we do competitions. Design. We're going to change it to challenges. Challenges is better. So we've and actually it's happened this week, which is quite coincidental. Here I'm in San Fran, and we pulled it off. But WGSN we now partner with. So we are their education partner. So where they originally came up with it, we came up with a version of. Now we're part of them, right? We're part of the family, if you like. It's a coup because they've got 6,500 clients. So they've got Philips, they've got Jaguar, they've got Samsung, they've got Nike, they've got Gucci. They're all subscribing. I mean, it's unbelievable. So it's a bit of a good thing for us, but it's a very good thing for you because if you're in here, you might be found, yeah? And above and beyond that, I thought, well, look, it's great that the portfolios are certainly mentioned your Legos and your Habitats and whoever. But we had to do challenges. We had to do competitions because example yesterday, the guy who runs the whole of Levi, Johnny Chung, great guy, and I used to work with him back in the day in Southeast China. He said, look, I've got a bit of a problem. I'm trying to find denim students, undergraduates, graduates. Can you help me? And I said, well, there's quite a few on our site. He said, yeah, well, we're looking, we couldn't quite find, the one. I said, well, look, why don't we do a design challenge, a competition? So they did that, and I mean, it's fantastic, right? I mean, he's over the moon, and no exaggeration. He really says the best thing they've ever done, right? From a PR perspective, from a marketing perspective, because it's giving back. It's enabling them to get access to people that they might never have known existed. And by doing a challenge, by participating in a competition, which is what you should think about doing, irrespective of who it is, because it's good for your portfolio. That's another thing. Right? You might just win. Or if you don't win, you might be shortlisted and end up getting an internship or a full-time job, right? So there was an individual from Academy of Art that was selected in the top 20. They're not here, no? Yeah? Yeah? She was here. Right. Okay, well, this is by the by, but it's great, right? She spent 4 days doing the project, maybe a bit below, I don't know. And there's Johnny. Think, wow, right? The standard's fantastic, and look, I might be able to hire these people. Nike, same. Urban Outfitters, we had a shopping shop 18 months ago where we had 25 designers whose garments, furniture, jewelry boxes, storage systems, it would all be manufactured by Urban in China and Turkey and wherever. But each and every item that had been manufactured had the name of the designer on it. Okay, very powerful marketing and great for the winner, because not only do they get a few $1,000s, which is all right, but the name on every item is a fantastic thing. So we do all these mad things, right, which we think are as proactive as we possibly can. I mean, we cannot sit back and just say, oh, we are digital and they will come, because you can't. You've got to make it happen, okay? So there's all the other sections which I'll touch, but I'll just skim it, and we can do a Q&A a little bit later on. You see that? It's a nice little advert for the Academy of Art. You're on the front page. Very strategic, yeah? New York Design Week, fantastic. Yesterday I was talking to an individual here studying who actually isn't here today because she's in New York doing that because she's doing your journalism course, right? Other thing I should mention is the chairman of our company, who became the chairman 2 months ago, was the CEO of Hearst Corporation Europe. So he was involved in the acquisition of Elle and all that. But this might not mean, oh, that's so what? But it's not. It's really important because media, content, brings you to them, right? Publicity, marketing. Doesn't always come natural to creatives. I can say that. I've become marketing orientated. I didn't have a clue when I was a student. I didn't know how to market myself. I only started to realize how to market myself when I was sitting in a bar one night and think, what the hell was all that about? And then, you make it happen, right? But this is very proactive. But you can be reasonably lazy and get something out of this, right? So that's quite good, because back in the day, we talked to Gary and the rest of the guys here, it wasn't that easy, right? You'd be ringing, you'd be sending bloody letters, and no one would read it. I mean, it was hard, right? This is better. It makes things a little bit more, easier for you. Anyway, so that's, as you can see, that's the front page. And Mr. Unglis is part of our education board, which is very good of him. So that, we've got a few people, Parsons, the Royal College of Art, all sort of involved. Got a competition on there at the minute, EastPac. We won't have as many competitions in the next 6 to 8 weeks because it's the period when everyone's graduating, so it's not. But with the deal with WJSN, we'll be doing a design challenge twice a month. So we'll be doing at least 25 challenges over the course of the next year, okay? And it'll all be relevant on every front. I mean, if you've got friends who are animators, digital, we work with BBC Worldwide. I mean, there's so much, right? So there's friends of yours that, or need help and think, oh, I'm looking for a job. They should go on this, okay? In other areas, like ceramics, furniture. We do the design festivals as well. So we just finished Milan Design Week. We had 20 undergrad students and graduates. We had another one from Academy of Art who studied here, textile, print. Yes. Yeah, she's very talented. I think I might have got her a job. Yeah. Well, there's 3 people that are interested. So they've asked about, oh, who's this person? You know what I mean? It's just bringing it to the fore, going to Milan. We call it in the UK ticking boxes. Well, it's checking boxes, isn't it? So checking boxes, right? It's good, right? Anyway, right. Portfolios. I'm just going to go through this. And look, by all means, when I finish this presentation, fire questions. I actually like questions, right? Because I forget things. I'm getting on, right? We've got... So I haven't seen some of these people before, so I really don't pick, because every day we get more, you know. There's around 65,000, I think, students, undergrads and grads in here. We don't want a ridiculous amount. I mean, coming back to the likes of your Behances and your Coalflots, they've got millions. And look, Stuart at Coalflot, really lovely guy. You know, he created Coalflot, which is this, you know, other portfolio site. But you know, he went down the road originally of doing it in an incubator section in Pratt Institute in Brooklyn 18, 19 years ago. And it was all for the benefit of students at Pratt then. But then he opened it up. And what he likes about us is that we're very clear in what we are. We are a site for tomorrow's talent, not for the established. So individuals do not stay on our site when they've got a job. They should come off, yeah? You know, it's not for that. It's for people who need a break, yeah? That starting point, that foot on the first ladder, the first step to employment, or launching your own brand. You know, we've got investors involved as well. People have been, yeah, all sorts of, we've had some mad stories. Because, you know, there's some really talented people out there. Name, project, title, that's only if you know the person or the name of the project. I'm not going to do that because I can't remember. But you've got your study level. So we're not just MFAs and BFAs, you know, with diplomas, with HNCs. So some of these things might, what the hell is that? The other terminologies in Tel Aviv or the UK or whatever, yeah? Sectors and specialisms. That's English. Specialization, I think, is it? Yes, specialization, possibly. These are all the areas, okay? So it's all, this is where you can be found, okay? So, you know, as you can see, ceramics, jewelry, glass, fashion, fine art, industrial, product, interiors, you name it. University, college, yeah. Type in Academy of Art. You'll see that. I'll do that in a second. But in the meantime, I'm going to go, is everyone in this room fashion and textiles orientated? It is, yeah. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll select that, okay? So as you can see, there's a lot of areas that you can check, okay? But in the first instance, I don't know, I'm going to do textiles fashion for a change because I've been chopping and changing the last couple of days. So by checking that, I'd like to think, depending on the speed, have a few textile fashion people, okay? So we've got individuals here that have uploaded recently. I don't know. But, you know, you get the general gist, okay? And I don't know, I'll select this person here. Because I thought I recognized that last night. I think I saw that in the catwalk. Who's this person right now? That's you there. Hello, how are you? Right. It's not a fix. I just thought I recognized that print. I've seen this before. I haven't got that bad a memory, you know. So I thought, oh, that'd be handy. I can have a look at that. So, Namrata? Is that the right pronunciation? It's pretty handy. I went to a terrible schools. I've done a... so, interesting that you didn't put a picture of yourself up there. It's whatever you want to do. It's your life, yeah? I like that image you've put up. But sometimes it's quite nice to have a picture of yourself. But we're not Facebook. So
we were actually told not to do like face profiles because it wasted retail space for them. That was the feedback that I got.
who told you that?
You through Simon, through me to the students.
I didn't see a thing, right? Yeah.
Because you make me look crazy.
That's all right. Fair enough. If it's a lovely picture of you, it's like, yeah, this is me. You kill two birds with one stone, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty handy. That is, I tell you. Anyway, look, there's no right or wrong. Let's just say that, okay? Obviously, you can see that. But it's obviously, I must ask you a really important question. I don't mean to put you on the spot, right? But I am. How easy was it to upload, honestly?
It was pretty easy to upload. The interface is easy. It has all those sections that you have to fill out, the description, cover image.
Yeah.
So it's easy to navigate.
I'm pleased you said that. Okay, good. Because we can't help everyone. I mean, this is the thing. But if people struggle, and I mean genuinely, there's obviously certain parts of the year that are easier than others. We'd say, look, if you don't understand, we will hold your hand, okay? And that sounds absolutely mad, but we can do that, okay? And look, constructive criticism is how we get better, okay? So think, why the hell have you got that there and want that? And if everyone's saying the same thing, we've got to change it, okay? Because it's called democracy, yeah? My granddad used to call it was socialism, but let's not go into that, right? Because well, Bernie Sanders, I think, yeah. Anyway, so we've got all sorts of bits of work here, which is great, right? Well, I'm happy with that. And so this is the profile, yeah? And there you got some work that you've uploaded. Have you only uploaded just the one project so far?
No, I have quite a few.
Okay, let's do it. I'm just going to cut back. So what I should have said, and I've jumped it slightly, the profile is you, okay? You can have as many projects as you want. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's up in the cloud. I'm not technical, but it's up there somewhere. We can handle it. You can put moving image up there. Actually, to be honest with you, moving image is really good. Yeah, it's a really good thing. If you're producing something which is three-dimensional, 360 degrees, I would suggest do 360 degrees rather than 180 degrees because that's flat as a pancake. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it. But your textile print, it's flat. So but you might decide that you want someone walking down the runway with it because that's quite engaging. Yeah. So what you're trying to do, and this is the name of the game actually, is market yourself to look the best. Yeah. You become like a peacock. Yeah, you show off. You've got to because you've got to stand out from the crowd. You have to because it's competitive, okay? So when you stand out, oh my God, she is fantastic, or he's brilliant. Great, okay? So I'm trying to give you some tips here. Anyway, I have jumped the gun, so I'm going to go back one, and I won't. I'll give Namrata a break on this one. So we'll go back there, okay? So as you could see there, and I should have said this before, but as I said, my memory's not fantastic. Projects are projects. So it could be a first-year student doing a challenge with Lululemon, right? Good example because we're going to do one with them. But it might only be that one project. Because you know what? Well, actually, I don't want to show a whole collection because I'm in my first year, for God's sake. Right? So then that little area is that one project, and it's still under that individual. The profile is all the projects together as one. So that is your online portfolio space. Yeah? I just want to make sure that it's clear. I'm going to go to profiles. Okay? So we've got someone here, someone from Leeds. That's interesting. Okay. Right. I'll try this one because that looks a bit mad. I haven't seen this before. Sarah Appleton from Bournemouth. Very nice part of the UK, by the way. Very good fish and chip shops. Here we go. Right. And so this individual's... No, it's not a great example, in fact, because she hasn't got loads of projects. But the deal is, when it's your profile, you can upload project on top of project on top of project, okay? It'll all be self-explanatory when when you start the process, okay? You know, something that I'm going to point out, and because this individual isn't here, you know, undoubtedly the ears might be burning, but Sarah isn't to know this because I'm not in Bournemouth talking to her, but it's so important to understand the story of why you did it in the first place, right? That is very engaging, yeah? You know, when I was working with people like you, I've got a name drop. I'm name dropping because it just think, oh, he actually has worked with some good companies. Right? So with Burberry or Gucci or Max Mara or Nike, whoever, I'd be like putting a designer in with their portfolio. So not digitally, but put their portfolio in. And it'd be a few JPEGs, PDFs that I'll be sending and say, look, you've got to meet this person because they are fantastic. Yeah? And we're talking about creative directors, heads of design, and product developers and garment technologists, right? But with the work, I always say, look, I need to know why you did it. Why did you do that, right? What's it based on? Is it based on Paul Klee or João Cometti or Frank Lloyd Wright? I mean, originality, okay? Pretty handy. Because you think, oh, new concept, new ideas, based on this, based on influenced with this. But mood, you've got to set the mood, okay? So it's a section-by-section circumstance. This is the same in your physical portfolio as well, right? But digitally, it's very engaging when you're going left to right. The mood, you set the mood. It could be a mood board. Sketches, renderings, flats, technical specs. If you're doing jacquards, prove it. You know, say, look, you know, this is the bloody, you know, card I bloody produced, and this is the George Dobby bit, and this is the AVL, and this is the, you know, whatever. But it's that whole thing. Think, oh wow, because that actually is evidence that it's yours as well. By the way, okay, something really important to say, because there's people out there that are very good at nicking. Yeah, they one could say plagiarism. Yeah, so if you can prove that it was your work and say, wow, this is how it all started, and this is the end process, and think, oh my God, it looks like $1 million. Fantastic. So that's so to be fair with Sarah, she's got some really nice images and they're really good photos. I'm not knocking any of that, but it would have been really good to see sketches and actually why the hell did you do it in the first place? Okay? Because someone who's going to hire or invest for that matter in that person, it's all investment, they need to know how you tick. Yeah? So it's a bit like when actually going for an interview, I always say to a creative, take your sketchbook. So I'm not saying you should upload your sketchbook, but you could. But people need to know what's going on in your head. And think, oh my God, you know, some of this work in the portfolio is fantastic, but the sketchbook, oh my God, this person's going to make me a fortune, right? Because it's all business, right? That's what it is. It's all business, right? So I hope that you know, make myself clear on this, on the profile, the projects, and the participating in design challenges, Levi, Lululemon, Nike, whatever. Boom, I'll have a bit of that. I'll put myself forward, win the job. Thank you very much. See you, mum and dad. I'm moving there. Right, great. Yeah. So the portfolios also is quite nice to see what other people are doing, and I'm not saying because they've got some good ideas. No, I'm saying that it's nice to see what a ceramicist is doing in Bath, or an interior designer is doing in Stockholm, right? They're there. You know, seek and you shall find, yeah? So it's all, you know, flicking through and the rest of it. Schools, I'll touch very briefly. Oh my God, it's the nemesis, it's Pratt Institute. It's only because they spend money, eh? You know what I mean? It's all about money. But our friends in Roma, they're very good as well. Lupo, very entertaining chap. And then there's a northern company there, Freudian slip, Manchester Metropolitan. But yeah, they are, Academy of Art, right? So we'll have a little look at that and see what's what. I mean, maybe that, I don't know if that's probably, is this image, I think this image is it new?
No, that's quite old actually. It's an MFA actually, right?
2005, Joanna College.
2005. Yeah, we hadn't even, I mean, this wasn't even a seed in my head. So what, I think what would be really good, and this is, it's my take because I'm an opinionated person, I'd pick an image that's going to sum up, and maybe, and you could be updating it, and that, by the way, can move as well. So, but we can't do that. We need, so whoever wants to take ownership, and I could have a chat with Simon, you know, whatever's, you know, democratic and all that. It'd be good to get something that's, and you can change it, you know, whenever you want, right? Because it's under your control. And this, the reason why we do this, right, and this is the other thing, I just want to touch the surface, but it's important that, like, a kid is like, well, I don't know where I'm going to study. Oh, Academy of Art, San Francisco, that's quite good because I live in San Diego, and I've heard it's very good. Oh, yeah, well, I'll have a look at that. And then suddenly you see the standard of the work because you're sitting on the page, right? Just to let you know. Another bit of marketing, yeah? So not only can you be found within the profile, the project section, but you also can be sitting, you know, who's it? Soji? Is it Soji?
One in the middle of this. Diana. There she is.
Where are you? Hello, how are you? I'm sorry. I don't mean, lovely little illustration there, by the way. That's nice. Nice little bit of watercolour, right? Yeah, look at this. You've got a mood board going on here. This is a good start, you know. Yeah, it's very good, okay? This is exactly what we want, you know. Honestly, this is not a fix, right? This is the second time this happened, right? This is exactly what the industry expect. Because you've got dimensions on there, right? That's important. You're an engineer, yeah? When you send a design to a factory, wherever it may be, in Southeast China or somewhere in the subcontinent or Turkey, whatever, they need to make it. So dimensions, bloody important, right? So that's great. That's music in my ears, that. Music in my ears, music in my eyes. Eyes? Whoa. I kind of tell a lie. I had a couple of pints last night, okay? So, which is why I'm living on cappuccino this morning. But yeah, great, okay? And look, the good thing is that you can constantly update it as well. You know, if you think, oh, actually, I want to change that, you know, you can do it, right? It's yours, right? So, yeah, of course.
So this that you're saying is really good happens during your portfolio class. So that's where you did that work, right? So that's the class where we talk about this. That's also where we've written into the class. I don't know where Chelsea is. No, sorry.
Hello.
Then this all starts in that class as well. So that work is from that class. So exactly what Alex is talking to, that's where we teach that.
It is so incredibly important. I kind of tell you, because the thing is, it's everything. You set the mood. Why did he do it? The sketches, the flats. I've got to tell you, not a lot of people do it. I'd say 95% on our site, they don't do it. And they think, well, why didn't I get a break? Or why didn't they select me? Because they haven't checked the boxes. Yeah? It's like, you've got to make it easy for the viewer to think, oh, God, I've got to employ him. Great flats, great illustrator skills, Photoshop, 360 degrees, beautiful photograph, taste, the whole, you might not know what this is, kit and caboodle, right? The old kit and caboodle. So there we have it, right? So anyway, that's enough of you in your market, your 5 minutes of fame there, right? But no, it's really good, and that's exactly what we're looking for, right? It's slightly different textiles because, you know, it's print, but again, the story behind it is still, I think, very, very important, okay? Competitions, I'll touch very quickly. Obviously, it is what it is. This is really great. You know, there's 10 designers that are participating in this wildcard competition thing. It's EastPack, obviously. It's a blank canvas, but there's John Paul Gaultier is one of the guys that is going to do one of the bags, and every year it's for AIDS. It's a bloody good thing, right? But one of the other winners, so there's 10 people that are represented and say, oh, congratulations, you are one of the 10, and then they manufacture this bag, by the way, so your name's all over it if you win. it's a great initiative. It's a fantastic thing, right? So we're part of that and been part of that a few times now. So that's an ongoing competition that we do. Diversity Now is just closed for review. Met someone yesterday who, it took participate, which I think, it was a UK thing, but it's now a global. It's really good. I'm going to touch on this because this is very relevant for the conversation I had yesterday. So, with Johnny in San Fran yesterday, this was the winners have all been announced, as it clearly says. That's the winning entry. And then there's all these other individuals who've come, like runners-up, and it's interesting. But, he turned around to me and said, to be quite frank with you, I could employ the lot, which is fantastic, right? Because we didn't envisage that. And he wasn't just saying it. He is a gentleman, but I know he'd say it the way it is. So they are a really good example. We've done Nike, Urban Outfitters, BBC, Winston Churchill. That's mad, but it's really good because we did it with Paul Roger. The winner of that designed this champagne bottle. Actually, I might have it here. Is it here? This lady did a limited edition champagne bottle graphic. She's at FIT, New York, doing packaging. It's just great. And Paul Roger were over the moon. So I think they're producing like 2,000 bottles, and it's vintage champagne. And so we do all sorts of mad little things like that. You get the general gist. So that's competitions. Events, this is to bring to your attention what's going on around the world, okay? So we've got, content is a big thing for us. So the editor-in-chief, Katie, the person I mentioned earlier, she's been a journalist for a long time, right? I'm not going to say how long. But we've got people, obviously, with the Hearst connection. We've got connections at Condé Nast. We've obviously got this great thing going on with WGSN. We're going to feed you so much so you don't, here you are, you find out what's going on in Copenhagen. Yeah. But we've got the New York Design Week going on at the minute. And there's all sorts of other things going on. Yeah, announcements. That was the Milan Design Week, which we did recently in Tortona in Milan. Job section, to be honest with you, it's the one area that confuses people. The only reason why we've got the job section is that it brings the industry to the site. So there's actually jobs in there that are not really... There is some assistant junior jobs, and there's not as many as... There's actually lecturer jobs, but then there's like creative director positions in industrial design companies, but they go to it. Oh my God, right? They're looking at a job and they think, wait a minute, there's portfolios here as well. So it's just a bit of psychology, really. So I'll touch that. The blog, it's the blog. We're constantly, every day there's new stories going up. Yeah, there you are, look at that. Wait, that's LaSalle. The Academy of Art. Who?
Right in the middle. Indonesia.
That's never you, is that you? Oh, right. Oh, great. Oh, you did that. We discussed this yesterday, didn't we? It's Vivian Moon.
Right next to
There you are. You see that? So what we do, right, this is really great, right? So when it comes to content, journalism, the stories that we publish, we've got angles with another company called PSFK. They're like McKinsey. They republish as well, right? And it's like this super collaborative thing that we never used to do this when we were younger. We didn't collaborate. We used to keep everything very close to our chest, right? Now it's get it out in the open, because then people think, oh, wow, Vivian Moon, she's very good. Yeah? And, it leads quite nicely, because with the relationship with the likes of WGSN and Hearst, it could end up being a job. Or freelance. That's what's so bloody powerful. So by putting your name to the article, being published on a site that's actually over 100,000 people, might not read it there and then, but over 100,000 people are registered. It's good. It's great. And so it's all very holistic. That's the... okay? I'll tell you what, I love Egypt, by the way. It's my favourite country on the planet. It's just it's unfortunate, a bit dangerous these days. partnerships. Yeah, it is what it is. Urban Outfitters, it's just examples. Nike, club-to-club competitions and partnerships with them. Practical is really important. Practical is actually very, very important. It's a bit dry. We're going to spice it up a bit. Get moving images in there over the next 6 months. But business startup advice. What makes a good resume? I'm now going to go on one but from the recruitment perspective, I've learned a thing or two. Just a tip, if you're applying for a job, so this is irrespective of arts trade, if you're applying for a job, the letter that you write is probably more important than the resume that you produce. And why? Because you haven't got loads of work experience. If you have, fantastic, but the majority haven't that are studying. So that letter, you have to marry yourself to that company. You've got to make that company want to meet you, yeah? So just a tip, email's okay, but these people who are decision makers, they get emails every 10 minutes, maybe even every 30 seconds, depending. So it might be an idea to post it. Yeah, it's quite novel, posting. Going to the letterbox and first class stamp and all the rest of it. They call it first class stamp here. Yeah. But it's kind of like going back to the 19th century, right? 20th century. But when someone gets a letter, they think, oh my God, normally I get a bill, right? Well, that's not good. But then I get this thing, oh, what a lovely envelope that is, and what lovely handwriting. And then I open it up. Are you resting or you got a question? Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Sorry, because I thought you want to intervene. Tell me. I like it. I like being told off and all that. But this letter that you said that dear such and such. Make sure that it's the right person. You know the person. Don't get the name wrong. Don't get the spell. No spelling mistakes. Right? It's professionalism. Right? Dear such and such. Not obviously such and such. The person. I get misquoted sometimes. Say, you told me it's such and such. So that in that lovely little paragraph, I think your collection is absolutely wonderful. It's one of the best things in sliced bread. You are unbelievable. And that could be a little bit gushy and quite sickly, and they might vomit. But you've got to butter. It's an old expression. Butter them up. Okay, make them feel special, right? And say your collection is outstanding. I would love the opportunity of meeting you and having a cup of coffee. Having seen this and seen that and been in your store and looked online and just connect, yeah? It's connect. You've got to connect, yeah? And then think, oh, well, you know what? I haven't even got a job, but, I'm going to meet this person because, you know what? They've made me feel really good, right? It happens. It happens, honestly, believe me. I got 2 jobs out because I just spent a bit of time. I put a first class stamp on. I didn't do second class because that looks terrible. Put it there. Think, is that all I am? Second class? Put that in the bin, right? So you just, but it's all that, yeah? And then your resume. And in the resume, yeah, any internships, work experience, really important. Illustrator, Photoshop, AutoCAD, Rhino, whatever, Jacquard, Shima Seiki, I don't care, right? But all these little things have to be mentioned, yeah? Okay? And so that's another thing that you've got to do, right? And I'll tell you what's funny. I mean, I know I get approached sometimes, and I can't really do much because we're not that big. The letters come in, and they get my name wrong. Or they say, well, actually, I know exactly who this letter is actually for, but it's just like boom, 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 confetti, right? You cannot do that. And it happens so much. So it's professionalism, it's engagement, it's making feel people put yourself in the shoes of the person hiring, okay? Because if you do that, you're halfway there. Don't think about you, think about them. Yeah?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you think about video profiles?
Fantastic.
Yeah? I know they've come up in other conversations that we've had with other people. So I just went and they were talking about when someone submits a video profile along with a job.
Yeah.
And because we are so remote, I guess, from other fashion capitals.
Absolutely.
That'd be something that could be added to your
100%. It's brilliant because, example, I'm trying to think of the, it was Levi and Urban. They they didn't want to be flying all these different designers to Philadelphia when they were coming from Guatemala, Halifax, not Nova Scotia, but West Yorkshire, places like that. I think, well, no, I want to meet this person, but they were then told, so, you know what, can you just upload a 2-minute clip of who you are, why you've done what you've done? They, oh, what? And, you know, if you do that, honestly, if you upload a mini film, they get a feel for you, right? Think, oh, what a lovely person. What a joy to behold, yes? And, oh, God, the work's terrible. No. It's everything, right? But by doing everything, I mean, that's it, yeah. I think we're living in the 21st century. Everyone should be doing it. Whether everyone would like to do it, because, oh, it's a bit, but it's so important, again, that it makes it easier for the person to think, oh, my God, not only is the work brilliant, but I really like this person already. So they'll fly you. And so I think it's we would be all over that like a rash.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Good. No, I know. It came up in class. It's come up at a CFDA thing we went to earlier this year, and I know it's something that it does seem natural. It came up the whole YouTube phenomenon, and it was like people out there send themselves that way. And I know that lots of people Skype from here or send videos, and I know Tipsy did something recently. I think it's a good thing to see someone's personality. Yeah, because it's hard. Look, just to let you know, and this is something that cannot be underestimated. You could be the most talented person on earth, but if you're not a particularly nice person, you're not going to get the job. You know, I admit it. I employed 27 people at WJSN back in the day, and I think, oh my God, why did I employ these 2 people? They were a bloody nightmare. I couldn't go to Hong Kong with these guys. I want to throw them off the bloody plane. Right? You know what I mean? It's the God's honest truth, because you've got to have the likability, yeah? There's no harm in having an opinion either, though, but as long as it's not, oh, that's shit, and you're crap, and blah, blah, blah. Because there is that as well, by the way, right? So it's a matter of being tactful and professional, but be considerate, be likable. I think my approach to something like that would be a bit like you're just standing in a bar or wherever, or in a restaurant. You're just being very natural. And you talk about what your interests are. Interests is massive, because the engagement. I mean, example, like Rafa, who I used to work with, I mean, they wouldn't employ anybody that didn't love bikes. Fair enough. It's a bloody bike brand. I mean, Lee, who runs Lululemon, I mean, he's a smashing fella, great guy. I wouldn't say he's a yoga freak, because he likes a pint, right? So that's a competition. But the people he employs, they've got to interview Pilates and performance and technical and yeah. But by saying your interest in climbing, I tell you, look, I'll be honest with you. I've gained 2 jobs for just talking about football throughout the interview. And I'm not talking American football, but soccer, yeah? Because, oh my God, great, right? He's all right, he's quite talented, he talks a bit, love the football, he's got the job. But there's engagement, isn't it? It's just engagement. And so it cannot be underestimated. Things that make you tick, think, oh, right, I like this person. And the work might not even be brilliant, but the work's good. But yeah, this person's an asset. I've got to get them. That's these things you've got to do, right? You've got to stand out from the crowd, okay? I went on one there. I really went off piste, as they say in snowboarding terms and skiing, which I'm not very good at. But yeah, so with ArtShred, I think I've covered everything as regards the platform. But I think it's important to talk about things, practical information, what the industry looks for, yeah? Because it's all encompassing. So that's why our practical section is really good, because it's giving you little tips that could help you, you know? Have you got any questions? Who's that? No, it's all in good time. I'm here for a while. Yeah.
Would you guys eventually do like a shop, show studio, have a shop session, like new designers there with stuff that you can purchase? So I wonder if you guys do competition. And not do like a competition that whoever wins will have a spot on your shop and that will not produce.
Are you looking for a job? No, because to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, hey, listen, look, you know what? I'll be even live. You've got a cake, you carve it up, right? You can have a slice if you can make me money, right? Yeah? Because, no, because there's no doubt about it we should be doing a shop. Yeah? But it's one of those things where there's only so many days in a week. You know, I consult the notes from people like that. My partner, she works with Comme des Garçons and writes for them. It's really, but yeah, it's a great idea. And I think in an ideal world, we're all for collaboration and partnering. So really, we should be talking to, I don't know, like maybe a Weebly, someone like that. Say, look, we can maybe align, partner with the right people to enable the individual, because it's a great call. I mean, we've got people selling stuff in here, but it's not a shop. It's just, oh, and I should, you know what, I'm pleased you mentioned it, because I should mention this. This was very silly of me, because I forgot. So when you've uploaded, and people say, oh, how do you upload? I can't. It says register, yeah? Upload. Click on it, right? But we get people saying, I can't find it. It's there. So we've got the portfolios, profiles, right? So I'm just going to go, I'll go to Jack. There's Jack, right? I'll probably meet this guy in a few weeks. It's gone a bit slow. Just so you know, right, okay. Can't see it there. Message Jack, right? Can't miss that really, can you? Message Jack, it's quite big. And then, but the individual has to log in to message. But we've had loads of circumstances. And now look, we're not Big Brother, but in our terms of business, there is people out there that take advantage of people, okay? So when someone registers and logs in and they put their name in and then they contact the individual and say, I love your work, I want to buy your work, I'll give you £10.50 or $20. Oh, wow, yeah, all right, $20, brilliant. It took me 5 days to, yeah, of course you can have it. I mean, because that happened, like, what the hell happened there, right? So we sometimes get these mad questions where, email comes in, is this company, is someone from this company, never heard of the company, and then we find out that, wait a minute, they don't exist. But there is a lot of very positive things where people message each other, collaborate. That's another thing which is really important. I'm going on one again, but it's really good to say because, I mean, we had a fantastic circumstance, not this year, but last year in Milan, where we had a textile designer with a furniture designer from different countries collaborating on chairs with textile, with seats and cushions and all the rest of it on display in Milan. I mean, that is bloody brilliant. Because that's two people who've engaged through our site, and then they contact and say, look, what do you think of this? Unbelievable. Do you want to do Milan? Of course you can do Milan. They went to Milan, sold their stuff. So it's really good that you lead to that. But people can buy. We should have that next bit, though, I think. You're right. Yeah? That was a hell of a long-winded answer, wasn't it? There's a lady who had a question. Yes?
It's just a really simple question. On the portfolio...
There's nothing simple. I'm very simple.
It's an appreciation.
Oh, I appreciate. I think that's lovely.
Okay.
Appreciate.
Basically, someone liking it.
Yeah. So this poor bug, Jack, he hasn't got any, has he? No. If you are a religious sort of person, you think, oh, poor Jack. Like, yeah. But yeah, in comments is dangerous sometimes. Oh, I think that's rubbish. When that happens, say, look, listen, that's just negative, you're off. So we do, and I should say this, all because of that question, go on tangents. We do tell people that they should take it seriously. So when someone uploads images upside down and back to front and all sorts, they say, look, you've got 24 hours to sort it out, otherwise you're off. Why? Because it's community. That one person could let you down. All because they've uploaded a picture of their bottom or something like that. Yeah? Think, oh, what was all that about? So they look, you really have. You've got to take it seriously, you're off. Because it could be the best client since sliced bread, who's think, oh my God, what a load of rubbish that site is, I'll never go back again. So they let the site down. So we actually get students and universities, for that matter, contact. So, wait, there's a couple of people on your site, I don't know if you know this, that are letting the site down can't do that. You know, we're going. I don't want to use the term. I'm going to use it. Go to war, right? Right, because together we're a pack, and we want to deliver. We want to make people successful. So we can't have people going off the wall and off piste, you know, not taking it seriously, because it is professional. It's a professional thing, right? Because it's about you. And there was another hand that went up. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you can gain more visibility on the site, like as far as your profile or posting often?
Do you know what's rather good? And it's good that you mentioned that. The more you upload, the more you change. You could just put one word in and it goes poof. So the more you update, the more likely you come to our attention, because we're very proactive as well, right? We have every month we'll be doing some festival, but the individual should think about updating as much as possible, because, you know, let's say you upload your portfolio in the next few weeks, which is the busiest period of the year. We haven't got the all-seeing eye, but, you know, we just haven't. We're not big enough. But, you know, let's say 4 weeks later, or when it starts getting a bit quiet again, you update it again. You go higher in the hit parade and think, oh my, right, fantastic. And industry finds you that way. So what I'm saying is that you should always think about updating it in some way, maybe religiously twice a month. And you stay on it. The official line is, and the unofficial official, for 2 years after your graduation. And really, if you've got a job, come off. Because just a tip, and I've known this happen, not necessarily on our site, but on another site. A friend of mine who was heading up Timberland, he found someone on a portfolio site, and that person started uploading work that he was doing in the job. Bloody great idea that is, by the way. And he started realizing this guy was a little bit left field. He thought, what the hell have I done here employing this guy? And then he went on the site and he thought, oh, right, instant dismissal. Now that's a bit of an extreme, you know, example. But if you've got a job and you're happy, you don't need this. It's not for that. It's for getting the break. Yeah? Okay.
I have a question about specialisms. There's
Yes.
a different one for your profile, and there's one for every project that you're uploading.
Right.
How is that, like, what does that help in filtering? Do your projects only show up on the specialisms that are on your profile, or just individual projects?
I've got to have a look. I can't tell a lie. I don't know. It's only my company. Isn't that good? So projects. So we're talking about the navigation bar here, yeah?
When you're uploading.
Oh, so when you're actually registering, right? I've got to be honest with you, because I haven't registered since we created this site. It's been a while since I did it, so it should be consistently the same. It's not. Is it different? Is it not consistent?
You can choose specialisms for your profile and specialisms for each individual project. That's what I like.
Oh, right. No, the idea is that you select 3 areas in either tier, okay? Yeah? But the project normally it's normally quite focused on, obviously, a particular topic. So if it's, let's say, knitwear design. But you're actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So when you enter a project, you're actually registering your profile there and then, okay? So you are actually in the system under profile. But the idea is with projects, if you're only looking at one project, so like let's say you click on project, there could be, you think, wait a minute, this person's name's gone up 5 times. It's because they've uploaded 5 projects. But in the profile section, it's only the one. But in each circumstance, you do and must select 3 areas that sum you up. And you know what? We've had people turn around and say, look, actually, I'd like to have 10. Can't. There has to be a focus. And look, just a tip. Women's wear design is the biggest area I would try and narrow it down. Like women's tailoring, women's knit, women's print. Only I say that because do you want to be one of 4,500 or whatever it is? Or do you want to be a niche? So great that you've touched this because it's just made me think. You've got a selection. That is not the gospel, okay? So when all these things are mentioned, fashion for textiles, fashion journalism, there might be something that isn't summing you up. If you want to be the only one, and we think it is, no, but great, you want to be the only one, right? That's just the tip. It's far better to be one of one than one of 4,500. So if there's something that we think, no, that's a really good call, we'll create that section for that individual because it's needed. We'll do it. Yeah. So we're always developing. We're all, there's something that you think it's not quite right. Tell us. We want to improve, right? I mean, that's so important. It's the only way it's healthy. Constructive criticism, war for it. There was another hand that went up. Who put a hand up, or was it just they were scratching the head? Is there any other questions? Hello.
Hi. So for the personal videos, is that something you can upload on your profile, or is that more for once you've been contacted?
No, you upload in your profile. I mean, we've got. You'll see the animators on the site where they've uploaded film. So that could be Vimeo, YouTube. So it's actually, that film that you upload will be on someone else's site, but it's configured into ours, so it just sits there. But yeah, I would really, you might be, honestly, I think, Gary, it's a really good idea. It's something that we were talking about, and we mentioned it for a few universities, but it hasn't happened.
I know that it came up in a conversation with someone that was recruiting, and they specifically wanted to recruit someone that made a video. So it was like them actually going to the store for the brand that they were doing a project for, and re-merchandising it, and kind of playing around with what they would do with it. And that's how I kind of heard of it first. And I was like, that is a really good idea. It's just how can we make it more accessible to everyone? Yeah. I guess.
Well, and that's the thing as well. You kind of want some form of consistency. So, if, it's your program, but let's say every year, I don't know, a month before graduation, that that's the day where you can be filmed for two minutes.
Well, the reality of it is that it came up in the same portfolio class like Chelsea and I taught like last year, and I know we kind of talked about that, so we could actually put it into part of the curriculum, actually produce it. So it could be something, it could be a requirement that we add into it. So
you'd be the first one. And I tell you, that's great.
Everyone's got an iPhone. Everyone can pretty much. Sorry,
yeah.
But, you can edit. Well, we found out that someone didn't have an iPhone. They were asked for a video, right? One person needed a phone. I'm sorry. Borrowing an iPhone. But it was good. It was good. It was a 30.
It's better than a Samsung. This one's driving me up the wall. I'm using my old one because I can't get reception. But do you not have a phone at all?
No, she does. Sorry.
It's like you're walking around. You're like a wind-up one, eh?
But even that was for like a competition, and part of the next stage was like submit a 30-second video yourself. So it kind of comes in simultaneously. People are asking for this. Yeah. So if you already have it there, you've already eliminated that process of someone being like, do I not?
Yeah.
So.
No, and let me tell you, I've got no doubt about this. Because it's quite novel, the company will click. Think, oh, love the work. I want to meet the person now. And then you could have a link to your Skype. Think, want to talk more? Within reason, you might be sleeping. Think, oh man, what's that about? But we've had people get jobs while they're sleeping. We really have. We've had people, in different time zones that have been approached. And, we hear about it, like Philips in Hong Kong. So not Eindhoven, but in Hong Kong. Yeah, they hit 8 or 9 different individuals on our site because we see that. So it's like it's been built like LinkedIn a little bit in that when someone registers, they log in, it's who they are, who they work for, and we did that to protect us as well and very much protect you because some people make things up. But yeah, when you can see, it's a good thing.
All right. Is there any more questions?
Yeah.
I understand that when employers or recruiters come onto the website, they want to look at our work, but would it be a good idea to somehow include our resume in there? I know there isn't a separate section for one when viewing our profile. Would that help?
There is an area where you can actually upload a glorified resume, but it's not. Do you know what? It's something that we've discussed a lot, but because the majority of the individuals on the site haven't got much experience, and I'll tell you straight, I mean, I wouldn't get as hung up. Look, a resume is very, very important. There's no knocking that. But the thing that they're looking for is that, oh my God, the work. And even when I was working on, big assignments with big corporates, paying a lot of money, getting a creative director, it was always the work, and then they'd look at because it's the work that gets the job, yeah. But within that area, you can sum up every skill. You can talk about, but I would engage it with the image because it's making. I mean, this is creative, so text's really important because this is the reason why I did this, and oh yeah, by the way, I can use Photoshop and Illustrator, but. I mean, it's down to you that. It's how you market yourself. But don't leave things off. But, we had an area for about 6 months where people could upload a PDF of a CV. Just never looked. They were looking at the work. I mean, there's a hell of an argument when you've got 5-10 years experience. Because, that does count. Yeah. And there was a hand... Same question? God, that's coincidental, wasn't it? Bloody hell. Okay. Is that it? Is that everyone? Have we accounted? Yeah? Yep. Fantastic.